Yo, it's your boy Zach for the win. I always attack for the win, and you're watching me, Zach for the win. Woo! Okay, everybody, it is time to start a new go-kart project. It has been way too long since I've done a go-kart project. It has been, a while. The bottom line is that it's been way too long since I've done a go-kart project, so it's time to do another one. Okay, so for this go-kart project, you've read the title. It is going to be called the Lowrider Go-Kart Project. Now, that might sound a little bit confusing at first, but I only called it that because I couldn't come up with a better name for it. To understand why I'm calling it the Lowrider Go-Kart, you need to understand something real quick. Now, there's something I should note up front, is, well, I have an incredibly bad habit of, putting together go-kart projects for fun, well, for fun, and just making them way too ridiculously fast or out of control, and then I don't even want to drive them anymore. I'm actually going to try to stick by it this time and make this a go-kart that I can get on and drive around and not feel like my life is in danger, because even that yellow go-kart, the Predator Go-Kart 2.0, even though, like, it is fun, but it's just a little crazy sometimes. Like, sometimes I just don't feel comfortable on it. So this go-kart project is basically going to be, like, kind of like a more of a low-speed rig. It's not going to be super high speed, and it's going to be, like, basically just like a nice, like, smooth, like, cruiser, shall we say. Instead of it feeling like a roller coaster, it's going to feel more of, like, just kind of like a smooth, like, fun ride. I know it doesn't make a lot of sense right now, and it's kind of hard for me to explain. It's... It sounds confusing right now, but just stick with me, okay? I have a good idea for this project. So before we get started, we need to go to Home Depot and buy supplies. We need wood, brackets, and some other stuff. Okay, all right, let's just go. Okay, so here we are at Home Depot. It is time to pick up some wood, supplies, brackets, all sorts of things. And we're already in the lumber aisle. Exactly where we need to be. Oh man, I gotta contain myself a little bit though. Wish me luck. Alright, here's what we're looking at. We need some 2x4s, guys. We need a lot of them. Let's pick some up. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That should be way more than enough. I'm gonna grab one of these 2x2s as well, just in case. Oh yeah, some brackets. We're gonna need a lot of them. Alright guys, this is definitely a little bit overkill, but I got a lot of L brackets because I'm definitely going to need them. Okay, and lastly, we got a nice, huge variety pack of zip ties, so this should last us for a few years at least. Alright, so I think we've got everything we need. We got the zip ties, brackets, some wood, a couple other things. I think we got plenty of stuff. So, let's go home and get the project started. Okay, guys, we have made it back home. I am in the shop, as you can see. But let me show you guys the parts that I have laid out. Okay, so first of all, the wood is all leaned up against the wall for right now. You guys saw what I did. I bought 5 2x4s, 1 2x2, and 2 1x2s, I think. Then down here is the miscellaneous things that I bought. First of all, I bought 4 of these little, there we go, in focus now, these little flat brackets, because you never know when you're going to need them. And then I bought 3 containers of these little L brackets. Those could definitely be useful. Got a different type right here. Got some small hinges for, like, say, for like the pedals. And then these really big, beefy hinges are going to be for the front steering. And then lastly over here is the zip tie kit that I bought. Lots of zip ties, got 650 of them, which is way more than I need. But I saw this at the shop and I just couldn't resist. So without any further delay, I'd say, and it rhymes, I'm sorry. Without any further delay, let's start building. So what I plan to do is have 3 boards that go across like this. And then I'm going to have at least 3 that go across on the corners and in the center to secure the whole frame together. That way it's nice and rigid. Of course, it's not going to be this long, but I'm just kind of doing a mock-up. And then I'm going to figure out some measurements, figure out how long I want this to be, cut it up, put it together, and yeah, she'll be fine. But basically what I need to do is I need to cut some pieces out of these 2x4s that are 30 inches long so that they can go across on the ends there and there. So that's what we're going to do first, and we'll go from there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have these 3 boards going across, and then I'm going to attach these boards to the ends of these boards. So now that all the boards are all screwed in place, I need to cut this piece of wood right where it's been marked. So the next thing I need to do is I need to take these L brackets and I need to put them on the insides of these corners, on all corners of the frame, which is going to make it significantly more rigid. Okay, so now that I've got all those brackets in place, the next thing on the agenda is to center this board and screw it into the frame. Okay guys, I've been hard at work on this frame here. I got this middle piece screwed into place like I said. And then I also put these 2 boards in place. This is actually the bottom side with brackets. And then there's some more L brackets. So the whole frame is it's all in place pretty much. So I'm liking the way this is turning out so far. I'm going to figure out like a seat placement, potentially where the steering is gonna go, and a few other things. Okay guys, so I've been mocking up the next few steps, and I want to have a nice surface area for that seat to rest on. So I found this old piece of plywood in the shop, but it's a little bit too long, so I need to cut it right along this line right here. All right, let's see if this bad boy fits. Wow. Dude, that is better than I expected. Okay, so that is all screwed into place. So the next thing on the agenda is to figure out a seat placement and maybe the pedals too. Okay guys, I just attached the seat. You can see the 2 little bracket things down there. I purposely have it tilted backwards so that it's more comfortable, which of course is the premise of this entire project. Well, it is the next day again, and I found some spare wheel axles that were just sitting around the shop and not doing a damn thing. And I'm going to see how they look on the cart and do a little mock-up. So it is kind of rough around the edges right now, but this is kind of what I want it to look like in the end. Obviously, I'm not going to be using these wheels or axles or anything like that, but this is just to give you a general example. So this is kind of the look I'm going for, right there. So I have it about mocked up pretty good. I'm sitting in it, as you can tell. Got the rear wheels on there. It's not going to be this high though. The front end is completely different from what it's going to be, but it's just a little mock-up so I can kind of figure out the I guess the proportions, and I'm probably gonna have to adjust the seat placement because there's not a whole lot of room back there for both the engine and the axle. So right now what I'm trying to figure out is where I'm going to be attaching some front piece right there for some for a nice like pivot steering. It's not going to be the usual turn back and forth front axle like I usually do. It's going to be something completely different, something that's going to be a lot more smoother and hopefully more comfortable to drive. Okay, so I am done with the frame. I have it pretty much all mocked up here. Of course, like I said, the front and rear axles are completely different from what they're going to be. But this should get a general idea on like the proportions of the kart. But anyways, that's pretty much it for part one. We definitely got a lot done. We built the entire frame. We installed the floorboard. We installed the seat. And we mocked the whole thing up. So I'd say that's pretty good for part one. In part two, I'm going to be doing the front end. And maybe a couple other things, I'm not sure yet. Part three will most likely be installing the rear axle. Part four, maybe, just maybe, it'll be up and running. Okay, but anyways, I appreciate you guys watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Oh yeah, and tell your friends, tell your family, let everybody know about me, Zach FTW. Stay awesome.